Good morning in Big South Fork. Going to start the day out with a little bit of a tragic story. This is the grave of a little 5-year-old girl that was killed when her father cut a tree down and it fell on her. Not a lot known about the story. They were passing through, had a little cabin on the other side of the road, and just another tragic story that you'll find up here. Stories passed on to us from the park ranger to Kenny Crossman to us, and again, just not much known about the little girl, the name, but the grave is here beside the road between Oscar Blevins and the visitor center. So you'll find this quite a bit through here. Just a lot of tragedy, that high child mortality rate, and that's just a sign about how tough times were up here. Alright, after I left the little girl's grave, I've driven down Jack Ridge Loop Trail. I parked here at the junction. You can make a big large loop. It's basically a walk in the woods, and you can also go down to Laurel Fork Creek, which is what I'm going to do. As far as I know, this is the quickest way to get down to Laurel. It's a beautiful creek, one of my favorites. I mean, it's right up there with Rock Creek and No Business. So gonna go down at the bottom, make a few pictures, just 4/10 of a mile there, and then 4/10 back. So we'll see what it looks like. Should be a little bit of water flowing. You know, you talk about cemeteries in the Big South Fork, and the website lists 58 grave sites, and if you've been up here enough, you know that there's more than that. Lots of small single graves got lost in history, but so many tragic stories out on these ridges and down these steep hollows. Lots of old roads just going everywhere. That's a good sign that probably quite a few people living out here. So we always said flat landing was just in such a premium that if you found any sort of a flat, you can almost bet there was something there. A field, an old home place. So much to see and do up here. Like my buddy Randy and I say, we'll never live to do it all, but we're gonna try. Nice rock house on the way down on the right. That is one massive, huge rock. Man, when that thing broke loose from the top and rolled down, that would have been something. Well, I got down to Laurel Fork and I underestimated the amount of flow. It was at the point where I didn't feel good about getting across and not getting my feet wet. And it's 30 degrees, so I thought I'll just wait and do this later. Now I'm back at Oscar Blevins, going to walk down around the perimeter of the new fence and just check it out. Story goes he was building a new cellar, and then early 70s, and the park was created and he moved out and it never got finished. Walking around the perimeter of Oscar Blevins, no doubt this is one of the original fence posts from way back. Got an old barbed wire coming off of it. Not barbed wire, just regular fence. Down in the woods behind the old barn, that's basically what I was looking for. I know around old farms, folks would take their junk and wouldn't go too far with them. This old tire been around for a long, long time. Another original fence post with the fencing still hung on it. Well, Mr. Blevins kept his farm pretty neat. I found an old tire, 3 or 4 old fence posts with some fencing still attached, and that's about it. A lot of places you can find a lot of junk. You know, there's a home place nearby, but kudos to him. He kept a really neat farm. Well, I came up here this morning just to get a little time out in the woods, and no set agenda. I stopped at near Oscar Blevins and saw the grave of a tragic little 5-year-old girl killed by a falling tree. I went down Jack Ridge to the Laurel Fork and checked it out, and went back and walked around the perimeter of Oscar Blevins looking for old junk, and didn't find much. There's a paved pull-off right in front of the White Pine Church. I've never went down. I'm gonna walk this thing out and see where it goes. Well, someone lived up here. Here's a old shelving of some kind, I imagine. Metal cans, another metal can, blue, some kind of a bench down below, and a metal tub. Saw some other pieces of plastic. So again, there's somebody lived up here. Someone fell out of their shoe, probably because of a big pile of bear poop beside them. Now there's definitely people been living here, walking up the road and what's left of the road, and saw some orange tape. That's usually indicative of something that's nearby, although it could be just as simple as a deer hunter. But it's always also been up here a good while, so don't know. And more signs of life. Somebody's junk pile. There's a home really close by. Some of this is kind of modern looking. Old rollaway bed or something down at the bottom. But at any rate, the place probably warrants more exploration. Saw 2 junk piles, so we know people are nearby. Old tire, probably from the locals, lived up here. Timber folks, I don't know. But from when I crossed Bandy all the way up here, I've seen trash and garbage piles, so there are plenty of folks living on top of this hill. Well, I can bet you this, not too many people have ever seen that sign. Well, now, we have dead-ended onto the gravel road to the Leatherwood Overlook. On this sharp curve, I've seen this old road many times. To be honest with you, I didn't have a clue this is where we'd end up. I thought it'd turn more down towards Bandy, but not. So, I'm going to turn around and go back to my car. This is a interesting little deal there. You can go right around the corner to the big pond and overlook. Randy, Neil, and I were just here about 2 weeks ago, maybe. Alrighty, found out where this road goes. Plenty of evidence of folks living up here. Fencing, barbed wire. So at one time that was a clear field, probably cattle with the barbed wire, but can't tell it now. Well, been kind of crisscrossing around where I found these trash piles, and here's an old jar from way back. But I'm not finding any traces of foundations or homes or anything. Back on the old road, one reason may well be that the more modern homes, the board, batten, wood frame type homes, were, once they're removed, probably had an old metal stove, and there's just no way to find them. Although I'm back to the orange tape, and it does intrigue me that someone's put tape here. You never know. Any number of reasons. Something worth seeing. Maybe making sure they didn't miss a turn off. I don't know. I'll ease down here just a little bit and see what we find. Well, I think I may have found a home place. It's right up from the trash pile on a ridge. Pretty major pile of stones, but no way of knowing. Almost looks like a little bit of a stone retainer wall, but again, no way of knowing. And right below where I thought an old home place could have stood, or a couple old cans, look like I've been tossed over the hill. Besides what looks like an old retainer and Plenty of trash. The last piece is Bandy Creek here, because you gotta have water. Very short walk from where I found the rock pile to the creek to get water. But again, who knows? Alrighty, came up to Big South Fork, just needing to get out. One of my favorite places to visit anyway, and had no set agenda. It turned out to be a good day. Found a grave that we were told about. Took a walk over down to Laurel Fork. Decided not to cross. Water's up pretty high. Walked the perimeter of Oscar Blevins, basically just looking for old farm junk. But it was really clean. Found an old tire, some really old fence posts from when he was around. Then driving home, I just saw this paved pull-off, and I've always wondered about it. It's right beside Bandy Creek. Found lots and lots of signs of life up this road, and was surprised it came out on the gravel road to Leatherwood Overlook. So overall, it was a good day. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did.